little bit about the OC was, obviously it's one of those shows that people look back on, I think, with a lot of fondness. And so while you were doing it, when you created it, what were you going for? It feels like you achieved something that really resonated with people.
With the OC?
Yeah.
Well, we wanted to do the OC because at that time, primetime soap operas were not on the air. I mean, it just hadn't been on the air in a long time, and it was a genre we really loved and kind of part of our own, viewing experience. And Fox is the place to do it. I mean, Melrose Place and 90210 and even Ally McBeal, which had been more recent, they were the place to do that kind of show, and that wasn't on the air. So it was just a great matchup, coming back with a primetime soap and putting it on Fox. And then on top of that, my partner Doug Lyman has a real history of sort of turning genres on their head and looking for ways to reinvent them. So Doug was just this incredible perspective, this fresh perspective on taking what a lot of people had thought of as a little bit of a stale genre and just kind of totally reinventing it, bringing a lot of honesty to it and grounding to the characters.
When it felt like you helped, that show helped kind of launch or at least encourage this idea that people who are seen as maybe nerdy or not cool in the obvious ways are freaking awesome. And so,
well, that came really from Josh Schwartz, the writer, because Josh was basically Seth Cohen. I'm not sure how comfortable he is admitting to that now, but we all know that was Josh. And we had this philosophy that I think kind of came from Doug, which is that Seth Cohen doesn't know it yet, but when he gets to college, he's going to be the coolest guy you could meet. Like the music he listened to in high school, the comic books he read in high school, all the stuff that he was interested in high school was going to make him cool in 3 years. So that sort of informed that character. So we knew he was cool, he knew he was cool, but we pretended like everybody else around him didn't know that yet.
Right, so what's it like when something becomes a catchphrase, like, welcome to the OC?
Bitch.
Yeah, exactly. What's that moment like?
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool because when we started the show, a lot of people thought the OC was, like, they made fun of that, just as, like, people from the East Coast making fun of us saying the 405 or the 10 or whatever. And the OC became, just a part of the lexicon. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
And then it also seemed like as much as people loved that show, people loved it, like all of a sudden people decided they were done. Like, we loved it and we're done.
It's hard to sustain. I mean, we learned a lot. We probably, the one big lesson we probably learned is that you need to parse yourself on the story side. And we burned through a lot of story really fast and ended up in a place where we really needed to reach a little farther out there for some story material, and that started becoming a little unreal, and I think that lack of reality caused the audience to disconnect. So it was a good lesson.